We know we need federal leadership, but Howard, you know as well as I do, most of the great things in the environmental arena, the progress we've made has started at the local level and worked its way up. And I don't know about you, but we've got to temper our concerns with a really fundamental understanding that mayors and states are all moving forward so that when the federal government falls asleep, there's somebody that's going to push.
You know what? It's exciting. It's exciting because you're seeing stuff come up from the communities and mayors being more can-do, governors being can-do, and they're saying the federal government's stepping back. We're going to step up with climate change solutions. And the things they can do, clean energy development, solar, wind, more energy efficiency in the built environment. Those are all things that make sense. The economics are good, the environment good, and they're really popular. So if you're a mayor or your governor looking to get reelected, this is good politics, is good policy.
Well, the other thing it does is provide inexpensive, cost-effective options for your consumers. I mean, isn't it fun, finally, that we have solutions to some of these challenges? And really, the situation should be, let's get politics out of it. Let's talk about the market. What's winning in the market? What provides people cheaper choices on how they can produce their electricity? And we have to recognize that these kind of innovations, some of the work that you do, that looks at innovative technologies is really important, because that's what's going to be our ability to move things forward in a stable and progressive way. So am I ticked off that the federal government isn't aggressive? Sure I am. Do I think that that means we can't make progress? Absolutely not.
You know what, I remember a couple of years ago, you were here for a press conference on smart thermostats. Yeah. So you look at smart thermostats. It's technology, 3 or 4 companies make them. People put them in their homes and businesses. What do? They save more money. They make things more comfortable. They help avoid pollution. They avoid waste. I mean, they make good common sense to people. And that sort of solution is one that gets beyond ideology. It gets to, here at least in the Midwest, we're practical people. It's practical, good common sense.
Well, since I'm hanging out at the Harvard School of Public Health, I probably
that's a good place.
Mention the fact that all of these initiatives that we're doing for climate produce tangible, direct benefits for public health. So if you're a family person who worries about the future of your kids, it's not just about cost, that's great, but it's about standing up and making your voice heard today. People have to be congratulating mayors, but also holding them accountable to the pledge they made. You know, it's important that we work together at a time when the U.S. is lagging in the international context arena, and say that America is all in. We are going to continue to move forward. And I know that health has driven benefits that people have recognized and have used to really motivate continued progress. And we have to do it here with climate. Climate is about polar bears, but that's not what we all care about. It's about us. It's about the planet. It's about the people living in it. It's about the future of our kids. It's worth a stop and an opportunity to ponder this a little bit and to see if your behavior is contributing or is it helping. You know, are we really going to work together?
You know, here's the piece we're excited about. You have all these mayors stepping up and they're saying, we are going to act. We're still in. We want to get something done. Press conference, excitement, applause. And then it turns out that the date they're going to get something done is, say, 2025, 2026. The fact of the matter is, most of these people won't still be the mayor then. Somebody else comes in and said, what did they commit to do? So first of all, we want to see action faster to begin dealing sooner with climate. And we also need, the point you made, to hold the mayors accountable and say, if you're stepping up, you're going to do something, get it done. Move forward. Energy efficiency. Best, fastest, cheapest solution to climate change problems. The work you talked about on the built environment coming out of Harvard, that's terrific.
Well, one of the, you know, as we're looking at what are the challenges, I think we all acknowledge that clean energy is really taking off. The issue is to make it accessible to everyone so that they can have incentives to go after it. And it's so beneficial, especially from a clean air perspective, which we know is a tremendous opportunity to protect public health. But we also have to look at, you know, the technology development in the transportation sector. We have to think about the design of our cities differently. And buildings now are becoming one of the biggest remaining issues to deal with. And while green buildings are great, healthy buildings are
even
just
better.
as great. And what we're finding is that as you make buildings more tight to make them greener, you can lock in toxic emissions from the products in those buildings. And you have to think about that.
How do you do it? Yeah.
How do you think about it? What are the products that you should use inside a building and as you're constructing a building to make sure that it's not just efficient, but it's really going to produce a healthy work environment?
Who's thinking most about that?
Well, I actually think that part of the work that I do at Harvard now is really
about getting people to do that.
Well, one of the things they're looking at is that it seems that healthy buildings are not just sort of better for public health, but people perform better in a healthy building. They're well ventilated. They are alert when you want them to be alert. So we're doing a lot of studies, basically looking at cohorts of people going in and out of buildings and working in buildings, identifying where the challenges are, where the benefits are, so that when you go to a company and you say, okay, they want to buy a new building or build a new building, they ought to be thinking about this, not just because of the benefit it would provide to the climate and to their sort of social issues that they want to be good at and invest in, but do it for their own business. They'll have better people. Kids will be better off if you have schools that are healthy inside. Daycare centers are important. So there's a range of ways in which we can sort of marry the ideals of climate, sustainability, social justice, equity, and health together.
And bring them all together.
All have the same answer. And this is really beneficial economically. This is how businesses will get better. This is how employees will stay if you want them to stay, and most do.
Thank you, Gina, for coming.